Hi, everybody. I'm Jeffrey Driscoll.
And I'm Jim Kerr.
And welcome to 15 Minutes of Fame.
We're back!
Well, we're back from summer vacation, Jim. Did you have a good summer vacation?
Oh, hell yeah!
Good. I did too. It's been, let's jump right into it here because we only have 15 minutes. If we just talked about our summer vacations, we'd be here for forever. So
yeah, that's true.
So a couple big stories lately from around the NHL. Only a couple, though, because the summer's pretty slow. But since we last spoke, free agency began. There's been a lot of movement, including, finally, Jim, Rick Nash making a move. What did you think of that trade to the New York Rangers?
Well, not a great return to Columbus, and you've heard it from a lot of people. Brandon Dubinsky, pretty good player.
Yeah,
Artem Anisimov, we'll see.
Yeah.
Tim Erickson and a first-round pick. It seems like the gamble didn't pay off for them. Like, I'm sure there was deals that they could have accepted earlier that they thought, well, we'll wait because the price will go up. What happened is the price kind of went down a bit.
Yeah.
Columbus gets a few good players, but they lose a really good player who didn't want to be there. So, that also adds to why the deal was the way it was. But some of the deals that I heard, rumored, granted it's only rumors, but some of the rumors that I heard over the last, month or two, way better deals than that. I heard, some teams were going to sell the farm to get this guy, and it ended up not happening for them. But that's what happens when you have a disgruntled star who asks for a way out and has control of who he goes to.
Well, that's exactly it. People keep jumping on Columbus GM Scott Housen, but the guy was handcuffed. I mean, I feel much more sorry for him than I would say both the mainstream media and Twitter feel for him. That's for sure.
Yeah, but like I said, I think he passed up on better offers.
Well, yeah, and that's the big
better offer.
You mentioned
so maybe
it.
And I guess that's the game you play. But one of the rumors that I heard, and I hope as a Red Wings fan this isn't true. I heard the Red Wings offered Franzen, Helm, and Filppula for Rick Nash. Compare that to Dubinsky, Anisimov, and Erickson.
Oh man,
that's big.
Big. No kidding. Well, another big storyline was the offer sheet to Shea Weber. Now that the dust has settled a bit, did the Nashville Predators make the right move?
Tough to say bye to your star player like that. They already had to do it once this offseason with Ryan Suter, but man, that's some kind of contract right there.
That's a lot of money.
All that bonus money, that's just insane. But you wonder about the disgruntled star thing a bit too. Like he signed an offer sheet for another team that he wanted to go play for. His team matched it, and he's there for the rest of his life.
Basically.
So I mean, it sounds like he's happy even to go back to Nashville, but at the same time, picturing him on the Philadelphia Flyers, that's a good fit. It would have been interesting to see if Pekka Rinne would go from a Vezina nominee to a Vezina not.
Oh, nice work.
Without those two star defensemen, though, that would be I was really looking forward to seeing how if or when his numbers would drop off, because that's a big deal.
Without Nick Lidstrom in the league, you could argue that Weber and Suter are the top 1-2 defensemen in the entire league. And Nashville had that. Defensively minded coach Barry Trotz had that. And you're absolutely right about Pekka Rinne. Like, of course he's that good. I would be that good with Weber and Suter in front. Okay, maybe not that good, but
still.
I just want to circle. I want to circle around to you saying, him on Philly would have been amazing. How about that? With Chris Pronger probably out. For the rest of mankind, that was something else. Like that would have been something else.
And he's a player that kind of embodies the Broad Street bully kind of mentality and swagger, and and him on that team would be a great fit.
Absolutely.
But I guess we won't see it.
Labor talks are underway between the NHL and the NHLPA. Without getting into too much detail, since the talks just began, what's got the players rattled so far?
Well, there's been a lot of stuff floated around. But despite a rise in revenue and the business of the NHL absolutely blowing up in the past, over the past 5-6 years since the last CBA, they've really rebounded from that lockout, probably to a point that they didn't think they would get to. But the league revenue's on the way up. The business model is just, they've got HBO following them around every winter. Like that's a big deal, or it should be a big deal for them. But it sounds like the NHL wants a significant drop in the cut that the players get of the revenue. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No.
And they're also looking for this is almost comedic. They're looking for a cap on the length of contract And, uniform amount of dollars per year. It can't be like $6 million the first year, $3 million the second year. So they want it. But it's funny to hear the owners, 14 years, $110 million, 12 years, $98 million, to say we need a cap on length of contracts. Is that right, owners?
It absolutely drives me up the wall.
Why? So you can find a loophole and abuse it for 6 years, then cry about it in 6 years?
These guys...
And some of the players have even been a bit vocal, being like, "Are you kidding me?" I don't think there's any, especially that the players took a massive rollback last time around.
Massive.
I think 24% or whatever it was. That's significant. So you come around this time and it's like, yeah, we want you to do that again. No.
No, exactly.
I think the owner should maybe give a bit this time around, but then again, this is how negotiations go, right? You aim high and you'll probably be somewhere in the middle by the time. The one interesting thing, though, is the 5-year entry-level deal.
Yeah, no kidding.
That would be, it's coming about 3 years too late for the Oilers, mind you.
Yeah, exactly. They want these star players or star draft picks to stick around for these teams for a lot longer, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I think that's one that's not a bad move because, it maybe takes a bit of the power away from the new players, but, you're new, man.
Yeah, well, exactly. And for fans, we like that. That's the thing. You hear a lot about the owners and the players, but nobody ever thinks of the fans because they just expect we're going to be there when when the dust settles.
Yeah, exactly.
But whatever. The Olympic. Well, totally. I
choked. Whatever.
I am. This stuff absolutely. Millionaires dealing with billionaires drives me up the wall. So I just I get a little disgruntled.
Yeah, as a thousandaire.
That's right.
I get upset about that.
That's right. The Olympics are in full swing in London. What are you more excited for, Jim? Of course, apart from beach volleyball.
Wow, that's a given.
That's a given, right there. Yeah, done. Easy.
For me, it's always the 100-meter race.
Yeah.
That's my favorite to watch. And
it's got to be the marquee.
I wait 4 years for a good 10, 20, 30 seconds of action if you count all the heats.
That's right.
That's my favorite. I'm interested to see how Canada does in a couple other events too. Summer's not typically our strong point, but the country's full of great athletes, and I hope we have a respectable finish. That's really what I'm looking forward to most. Seeing how well we can do as an overall team. Hopefully we get in there.
Yeah, I think the Canadian Olympic Committee was looking at 13th is kind of the place that they're going for, which is good. That's respectable. I like it.
Here's the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
If there's countries ahead of you in the standings that you've never heard of, if you look at the FIFA rankings, it's like there's countries that I didn't even know existed that are ahead of us in soccer, which means they have a national team.
That's right.
So if there's a team, as long as ahead of us are countries that I know, it's not too bad.
It's all good. You can handle that.
You're a huge Olympic guy, though. You love it.
I love the Olympics.
You're watching it right now, probably.
Oh, you know it. I'm on record as saying I'll watch any sport, anytime, anywhere. I love sports so much, and the Olympics just embodies that. In fact, I think it's over too quick. I don't know if the NHL playoffs just kind of makes me think that everything should take 4 months. I don't know what it is, but the CTV Olympic kind of consortium they're doing good if you can get to it. But Jim, today and yesterday had 4 sports live on my screen in high definition all at the same time.
Attaboy.
Man, it's absolutely amazing. And the 2 sports...
I didn't know there was 4 beach volleyballs on at the same time.
That's right. How do you watch 4 beach volleyballs at once? And one on this beach volleyball because Canada, both in the men's and the women's, are expected to do okay. So,
if you're watching men's beach volleyball, you're a real fan.
Nah, you're a real fan. That's hardcore right there.
Love of the game right there.
2 sports that I'm really into right now: fencing, I know, right, and canoeing, kayaking. Man, those are both butt sports, and it's so much fun to watch. I think it's so high excitement. Canadians aren't really expected to do well in either of those sports, but it's just fun watching. I don't know. I have a blast. So
yeah, and when the Olympics are on, you realize that everyone there has trained so hard for what might be a 10-second race or something like that. So that part of it's that makes me want to watch too because there's people with dreams on the line and stuff, and of course world-class athletes.
Absolutely. No, it's so much fun.
I'm interested to see, Usain Bolt and Johan Blake. that's a big storyline right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we already saw that, Phelps, he lost the 4x100 medley in swimming. Like, there's been some big upsets and some big stuff already, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Quick side note,
Sure.
the guy who won against Phelps,
Yeah.
he tried to wear a diamond grill
He wore,
onto the podium, and they made him take it off.
He wore it for all the pictures. He's big in fashion magazines and stuff like that. Like, apparently that's what this guy does. But yeah, like, there's this great picture of him with his grills in, like, biting his gold medal with the grills. I'm like, that's interesting.
And he's white, of course.
Yeah, oh
which
yeah,
is
absolutely.
better.
Yeah, so good for you, I guess. So, we're going to move on to the GABBYs now before we run out of our 15 minutes of fame. Let's give a good to South African runner Oscar Pistorius, who, despite being a double amputee, is running in this year's Olympics. Jim, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
It's really quite the story, and despite me saying that I didn't know right at that time whether or not he should be in the Olympics, we absolutely wish him all the luck.
Yep.
And good for him, and hopefully this blazes the way for other types of sport that way as well.
Yeah, and it just shows you how far we've come.
Oh,
and
totally.
it's just so many ways that a guy can be an Olympic runner without legs.
Yeah, no kidding. It's fantastic.
Like it sounds funny to say, but that's in essence what we're dealing with here.
Absolutely.
And just all the stuff he would have to go through to get to this point. The politics.
All of it.
Should he be allowed to? It's a funny debate to have. Like, should this? Hey, he has an unfair advantage. The guy with no legs?
Yeah, exactly. That's the argument.
That's a Cat Williams bit of stand-up right there. The guy with no legs has an advantage?
Yeah. Okay.
So that's amazing that he's there, and I can't wait to see him run. That's going to be a lot of fun.
No kidding.
Well, if you thought you were pretty quick when it comes to pulling off the main drag for some car maintenance, and I know, Jeff, you're always bragging about your pit stops.
That's right. That's
got
right.
nothing on Formula One's McLaren Racing Team. They earned a good this week for a world record 2.31 second
Crazy.
pit stop at a recent race in Germany. That is unreal. It takes me 10 minutes to fill up my gas. I usually pull in on the wrong side for my gas.
Absolutely.
2.31
it's like
the walk of shame when you get back in and have to do a 3 turn and go right back to the same. 2.31 seconds. They're gone before I've even pulled up.
That's right.
And that's tires and everything, probably.
Oh, yeah. That was probably the whole meal deal, too. That's insane. Yeah. Good for them. Absolutely. And a good to the person who took home a cool $32,000, Jim, when Ernie Els won the British Open last week. Someone put $70. That's it on Els, who came into the final day trailing by 4 shots, which is a lot going into the final day of the British Open. Somehow pulled off the massive come-from-behind win. That's a pretty solid bet.
Oh, man, I would take a break from betting after that because that's your luck.
Totally.
Right there.
That
Shot
was it.
At least a week.
At least a week. Then go put that $32,000 back on Tiger.
Yeah, hopefully that was the first $70 this guy's ever bet because if not, he's probably just broken even.
It's that.
Let's give a bad or maybe a better luck next time to Brazil's soccer team. It's probably a smart move by the coaches after all the talk recently about the athletes' village at the Olympics and how crazy it is. But they've decided to stay at a secluded hotel instead to avoid the temptations.
Oh, temptations.
Yeah, I'm sure the players will have some fun either way.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll find
But I have heard that athletes' village is something pretty ridiculous.
You put that many
weekend for you, pretty much.
Right.
But like for a couple weeks straight.
That's right. You put that many 20-something good-looking fit people in one place at one time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Although I wouldn't know anything about that. A bad this week to Shawinigan Cataracts defenseman Dillon Donnelly. He broke the Mem Cup, Jim.
Oh.
He says he picked it up, lost his balance, and dropped the historic trophy. I don't know if you saw the picture of this.
I saw the picture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God. It looks like he dropped it into a fire.
Oh, like just
it looks melted on the top.
It does. He looks like he stomped on it or something.
And they can't find the little players. They're on the top.
That's brutal. Well, he's on the hook for repairs. In the junior ranks, they still don't make a whole lot of money. So, and I'm sure he will eventually. But right now, he doesn't have a lot of money. So that's tough break for the kid.
Yeah, but a funny story for the rest of us.
Absolutely.
Finally, Jeff, a bad to Chad Ochocino, who is now Chad Johnson once again.
Oh, really?
Turns out his wife didn't want the last name Ochocino because I guess she wears a different number. It would just be confusing.
Yes.
But that's fair enough. It is kind of a silly thing to have in the first place. So
no kidding. It's better than
good for you, Chad Johnson.
Still better than Meta World Peace.
Yeah, that's true.
The punchline, folks, this week's comes to us from the aforementioned Olympics from London, England.
This is a big one.
Yes.
The women's soccer tournament started with a bit of fireworks when the organizers tried to introduce North Korea by displaying the South Korean flag.
Of all the places to do it.
Yeah, you know, if Canada was coming out and they threw up United States, and that's a mistake.
Yeah, carry on.
They stayed off the field for an hour.
For an hour.
Yeah. That's like you say, of all the ones to mess up, come on, man.
Which makes me believe that maybe that was sort of on purpose. I don't know. There's some kid.
A UN sanction.
Well,
you have to come out to the South Korean flag in soccer tournaments.
That's right.
No.
Yeah. The 1 hour protest, I absolutely understand. Well, I don't understand. I think the whole thing is silly. Like you said, if it was Canada or coming out to a Great Britain flag or something like that, it wouldn't be a big deal. But you can't make that mistake. You got to know. You got to know.
I was just walking past the TV and I saw them talking about it, and I was literally like, oh.
That's right.
They did what?
They did what?
Yeah,
exactly.
So. There you go, Olympic organizers.
There's
your 15 minutes of fame.
Well, speaking of 15 minutes of fame, that's ours up for the week. Thanks for staying with us, folks, especially over the summer break. We expect to be back, and doing the full schedule here over the next little while. So, in the meantime, I'm still Jeffrey Driscoll.
And I'm usually Jim Kerr.
Have a good week, folks.